So our lesson for today are biomolecules, which constitute carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. We're going to start with the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the source of energy for humans, and they come from the process of photosynthesis, which we know is a reaction between carbon dioxide and water with the help of the sunlight for the UV rays, and we obtain glucose plus oxygen. Okay, glucose is a carbohydrate, is the main carbohydrate that we have. And all of the carbohydrates contain at least one hydroxyl group and one carbonyl group. Okay, remember that the carbonyl group can form an aldehyde or a ketone. Okay, we have three types of carbohydrates according to the amount of molecules or monomers that we can have. We have monosaccharides with only one monomer, disaccharides with two monomers, and polysaccharides with three or more monomers or monosaccharides. Okay. The monosaccharides are the ones that only have one molecule or one monomer, and they are classified according to the amount of carbon atoms in the molecule and the functional group present. We said that the carbonyl group could form aldehydes or ketones. So when we have three carbon atoms and an aldehyde functional group, we call those monosaccharides aldotriose or trioses. When we have four carbon atoms, we call them aldotetroses. When we have five, we call them aldopentoses. And when we have six, we call them aldohexoses. When we have ketones with three carbon atoms, we call them ketotrioses. With four carbon atoms, ketotetroses. With five carbon atoms, ketopentoses. And with six carbon atoms, ketohexoses. So, for example, if we have these compounds, okay, the first compound has 5 carbon atoms in the molecule. It has an aldehyde as a functional group, so this one will be an aldopentose. And the second one has 6 carbon atoms, and it has a carbonyl group looking like a ketone, so this one would be a ketohexose. Okay, we have three main monosaccharides. The first one is fructose, then we have glucose, and then we have galactose. This will be the base for the disaccharides or the polysaccharides as well. So when we have two monosaccharides, we have a condensation reaction in order for us to create a disaccharide or a polysaccharide. For example, we could have glucose looking like this. We know that glucose is a monosaccharide. And we can have fructose, which is also a monosaccharide. And when these two react together, we're going to create a monosaccharide, which is sucrose, joined together by the hydroxyl group and one hydrogen atom, forming a disaccharide called sucrose plus a molecule of water. Okay, these two are the monosaccharides. And this one would be a disaccharide. Okay. It's a condensation reaction because we get our main product, which is sucrose, plus water as a byproduct. So the different combinations that we could get are three main disaccharides. The first one is the example that we saw, glucose plus fructose, which creates sucrose. The second one is glucose plus galactose, in which we get lactose. And the last one is glucose plus glucose, for which we get maltose. Okay, these molecules are bonded together by the oxygen in the middle, and this bond or oxygen in the middle is called the glycosidic bond. Okay. We can also have the same reaction to create polysaccharides. In this case, we have many glucose molecules. They're joined together by enzyme action, and we get a polysaccharide plus water the same way that we got a disaccharide. We have four main polysaccharides, two with a vegetal origin and two with an animal origin. Okay, the first of the polysaccharides is cellulose, which is the most abundant organic compound in the face of the earth. Then we have starch, we have glycogen and chitin. From these polysaccharides, cellulose and chitin are structural material, are used for structural material. Cellulose in plants and chitin in some animals with exoskeletons. And starch and glycogen are used for energy storage, starch in plants and glycogen in animals. These are all composed of glucose only in different bonds. Okay, and we also have the opposite reaction to condensation. Hydrolysis is the opposite reaction. We have a polysaccharide over here. We add some water, we have enzyme action, and we're going to break down the polysaccharide or the disaccharide into monosaccharides. This is what happens in the digestion process.